Alright guys, so today is our very first day of review for our performance task, which again is going to be on Friday. Now again, don't forget that one is going to replace the old performance task, which was 10% of your grade, so this is a big chunk of your grade, very important. So modeling one systems, the nice thing is that this performance task, is very similar to what we've been doing, talking about systems of equations, taking a look at two situations and comparing them. Now what I want to do today is just break it down to just taking a look at one situation. Tomorrow we're actually going to put them together and combine two situations in one. So again, copy down that title, modeling with systems. So again, let's not forget, when we write our equations, we sometimes write them in ax plus by is equal to c in that standard form, right? The 2 tacos plus the 3 burritos equals how much I spent. And then sometimes we write in the following in y equals mx plus b, which is slope-intercept form. So let's not forget, b here is our starting point. That's our y-intercept. But again, that's also where we start. So this B here is going to be any initial fees, anything that I have to pay up front at the very beginning. And again, that's what you want to remember, that B is where we're starting. How much do I have to pay at the beginning? Does it cost anything to kind of join something like a gym? Is there an activation fee? When I go try to buy a phone, in order to activate that phone, they charge you a certain fee. Now let's take a look at the M. Now again, M was our slope, or in other words, our rate of change. And again, that's the guy that's constantly changing. So for example, how much are you paying for that phone every month? Are you paying $30 a month, $40 a month? How much does it cost to join that, or for that membership of the gym? Is it costing you $30 a month to go to the gym? Every month you're paying $30. So again, that's the guy that is going to be our rate of change. That is the guy that is constantly changing, or we're constantly paying. And again, don't forget X, we consider that basically our input. So again, that's typically in a real situation, that's how many months, how many hours. That's the per part, per what? Per hours, per per hour, per minute, whatever that is. And then C over here, sorry, Y over here is our output. Okay. And then again, our output, that was typically how much it costs to go to the gym after a certain amount of time, how much you paid, how much money has profited. That's the end result. That's our output after a specific amount of inputs here. Okay, so what I want to do right now, you don't have to copy this down. I just want you guys to follow along. So our very first thing we're going to focus on is, can we write those equations? Write an equation to represent the cost of the following situations. Now again, yeah, we should write our equations in y equals mx plus b, but I'm going to try to use appropriate variables. So instead of using y and x, again, I might maybe use m for months, or c for cost, or h for hours, things like that. So the very first one here says Jerry's gym has an initial fee, so that's going to become very important, of $50, and then charges $10 per month. So how much is it going to cost me? Now again, that's the grand total at the end, so that's actually going to be my y. So I'm going to use C for cost. My cost is going to equal, well, how much did they charge? Remember, this was the per, the mx is the per part, $10 per month. So it's going to be 10. I'm going to use per month. I'm going to use M, so that reminds me that it's $10 per month. But also, in addition to that, I have to pay an initial fee of $50, so it's plus 15. Now again, this is technically your y equals mx plus b right there. But again, this is what I'm looking for as of right now. So what about the next one? It says Verizon charges $50 a month for unlimited, plus an activation fee. So in order to get that phone, I have to pay an activation fee of $35. And again, well, how much are they going to charge me? Let's use C again for charge, or cost, whatever you want to call it. They charge me $50 per month. So again, 50 M, we're talking about months here, plus an activation fee of $35. There we go. That's the equation that pretty much summarizes what's going on in that scenario. Now the last one, Xbox Live charges $40 per month. So again, talking about charge, so again, how much is it going to cost me? C for cost is equal to $40 per month. I'm going to say it's 40M for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, how many ever months. Now here's the thing, there's actually no activation cost. So again, that's all we have to do for that one. I mean, could you put C is equal to 40? Whoa, I don't know what happened right there. Ignore that part right there. But could I put cost is equal to 40M plus 0? Yeah, there's no activation cost, but again, we really don't need that extra plus 0 if it's not there. All right, what I do want you guys to try is the following. All right, so pause the video here, try all three, and then hit resume. All right, so here we have it, guys. These are your answers. So again, for the first one, Jennifer's Gym, it costs $30 per month, so we put 30M plus the 20 is going to give me my total cost at the end. For T-Mobile, they charge you $35 per month, so we say 35M plus an activation cost. I only have to pay that one, so it's plus and it's tacked on at the very end here. And then the last one, Hulu charges 11 per month. So again, you can say your cost is equal to just 11 times the number of months, or your cost is equal to 11 times the number of months plus 0 activation fee, right? They're not going to charge you to subscribe or anything like that. All right, guys. So again, that's the very first key part that I want you guys to take away from today: how to write an equation based off a situation. Okay, now completing a table of values. You don't have to do this one. I'll give you guys one in a second to try, but I want you to write the equation, and I also need to complete the table of values. So it says Crystal is starting her new tutoring service. She explains to her customers that she charges an hourly fee. That's going to be important. So again, I'm talking about charge here. And it's an hourly fee of $15 plus a one-time fee of $10. Okay, what two things do I have to do? I need to write an equation that represents the situation, just like we did, but here's the tricky part. Where H is the number of hours, so I do need you to use H for hours, and M is the amount she makes. Okay, so complete the table of values for multiple hours, and we're going to do that in a quick second. But let's write our equation. Well, let's see. M is the amount she makes. So instead of using C for cost or charge, right, I'm going to say the amount of money she makes, M, is equal to, well, how much was she charging? She said she was going to charge me an hourly fee of 15. Again, this is kind of like that month part, right? Per month, per month, per month. This is now per hour, per hour, per hour. It's $15 per hour, and they asked me to use H as the variable. So $15 per hour, but she also charges a $10 activation fee, or one-time fee if you want to call it, right? So there is my equation. Boom, done. That's it. Well, now we actually have to complete the table of values. What this is saying is here, H, for 1 hour, how much money has she made? For 2 hours, how much money has she made? For 3 hours, for 4 hours, for 5 hours. How are we going to figure that out? Well, it's just a matter of substituting. This is H, so I'm going to plug in here for H. I'm going to do the first one. So the amount of money she makes is 15 times 1 hour plus 10. I don't know why it does that. Okay, but let's go ahead and see how much she makes is equal to 15 times 1, which is just 15, plus 10. Well, 15 plus 10 is 25. So in 1 hour, she has made $25. Cool. Let's move on to 2 hours. Okay, the amount of money she makes is 15. Now it's for 2 hours. In 2 hours, how much money has she made? Let's see. The amount of money she's made is equal to 15 times 2 is 30. 30 plus 10 is going to give me 40. So in 2 hours, she's made a total of $40. All right, let me keep this going. Okay, so for 3 hours, how much money she's made is equal to 15, okay, times 3 plus 10. Well, how much she's made? What's 15 times 3? Let me do this over here on the side. 15 times 3. That's going to be 15. Carry the 1. That's 3. That's going to be 45. So it's going to be 45. Why does it keep doing this? I have no idea. Ignore that. Okay, 45 plus 10 is going to be 55. So in 3 hours, she's made a total of 55. And you want to keep this going on and on and on. So again, for 4 hours, how much money has she made? For 5 hours, how much money has she made? This is a second takeaway that I want you guys to take away from today. Can you write an equation? Can you also fill out a table of values? So again, for 4, that's going to be 70. And then for 5, it's going to be $85. Okay, we actually do the math there. All right, what I want you guys to do is, it's your turn. I want you guys to take the following situation and try it on your own. So again, pause the video here and try it out. Okay, so again, give me the equation and fill out the table of values. All right, guys, so here's the equation I came up with. So again, Joseph's Car Wash Company charges $7 per wash. and you have to pay the first a $13 registration fee. So it says write an equation that represents the situation where W is the number of washes and P is the profit. So again, I said, hey, my profit, or how much money they're making, Josh's Car Wash, it's going to equal $7 per wash. And again, they asked me to use W, so I want to make sure I use their variable that they're asking me, plus the $13 to register with them. Now again, they're asking me, hey, how much money are they going to be making? How much profit do they make off of just one car wash, 2 washes, 3 washes, 4 washes, 5 washes, and so forth? So again, all I had to do was take the 1, plug it into W. So 7 times 1 is 7, 7 plus 13 is 20. And again, I do that again for 2, for 3, for 4, and for 5. So again, we get, for 1 car wash, it is $20 that they've made. After 2 washes, they've made 27. In 3 washes, they've made 34. In 4 washes, they've made 41. And lastly, in 5 washes, they made $48. Okay, so again, this is the second big idea. Like as I mentioned, can you write the equation, and then can you also complete a table of values and understand what it's saying? So again, if I ask you, hey, how much have they made after 3 washes? They made a total of $34. If I ask you for 6 washes, then you'd have to extend and go on to 6. Oops, I don't know why it's missing the 48 there. All right, guys, let's move on to the last bit here. So again, now the last thing is, can you graph these situations? So if again, you don't have to copy this one down. Well, this is just kind of building on the last one that I did. So for Crystal's tutoring service, right, we came up with the equation M is equal to 15H plus 10. So the money she's made is equal to $15 times the number of hours plus 10. Well, now what they're asking us to do is to asking us to graph the situation, get a visual representation here. So, well, how do I build this? Again, this is, think of this as your X, think of this as your Y. So this is your X-axis here. This is your Y-axis here. So the number of hours, I'm going to go across the X. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, I can keep going, 7, 8, 9. Again, this is representing the hours. We want to make sure, this is very important, that we label it. Okay, and then going up here, okay, this is now how much she's made on the Y-axis, how much money she's made. Okay, that's how much money. Now here is where it gets a little bit tricky. Well, they go from 25 to 40 to 55 to 70 to 85. How do I go? I don't want to sit here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna go here by, do I have room for 10? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Yep, 90. I should have enough. So I'm gonna go here by 10s. 10, 20, 30, 40. Why does it do this? 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. All right. So can you plot this, right? Can you guys go ahead and plot 1, 25? So I scoot over 1. Now 25 is going to be halfway between 20 and 30. So these are going to be rough estimates. It's not going to be anything exact or perfect. So 2, 40. I scoot over to 2, and then we're making $40 here. For number 3, so in 3 hours, they've made 55. So here we go, 3, 55 is halfway there. For 4, it's going to be 70. In 4 hours, they've made a total of $70 here. And then lastly, in 5 hours, they made a total of 85, in between 80 and 90. And there we have it. Now, of course, we do want to extend this line here. Do the best I can. There we have it. Okay. So this is the last bit that I want you guys to take away from today. Write the equation. Can you complete the table of values? And then can you use that table of values and graph the situation. Okay. Now there's several questions I can ask you from the graph, right? What if I said, hey, I want you to estimate for 6 hours. I know I didn't have you guys do another little box here, right? But what happens for 6 hours? If I go to 6, I'm going to go all the way up, all the way up. It doesn't look quite, maybe, is that it? Should have probably hit closer here to 100. I can say it's roughly going to be 100 that she's made in 6 hours. So again, based off of this graph, I can ask you several different cases. So something like, hey, how much money has she made in 3 hours? Well, if I go to 3 hours and I scoot all the way up, she's made not quite 50, not quite 60. That's going to be halfway. It's going to be 55. All right, guys, my time is running out here. So please go on to part 2.